I think you have to.
I do. Okay, cool.
Okay, so welcome back to my channel. And we are here today to talk to competitor Luke Poulin. So this is my first male competitor interview. So this won't be on the Women's Body and Power, but it will be on my YouTube channel. So thank you for being here, Luke, right across the next room.
Yeah, right across the house.
So anyway, basically, I want you to tell our listeners or viewers, tell us about you. Tell us what you do like in normal life. First of all, so, introduce yourself.
I'm 41 years old and I work on radio towers for a living. Do stuff outside. I don't know. Obviously the gym.
Okay. So, how long has it been since your last competition?
2 years. Pretty close to.
So 2019?
Close to 3 years since my last. It was 2018.
2018. So what month in 2018 was it?
December of 2018.
December 2018. Okay. So, and you are coming up on the Yorton Cup, which is in how many days? 9 days, right?
Yeah.
So 9 days out from your competition. So tell our viewers, so like, how has your prep been, and like anything that you noticed different this time around versus last time? If you can remember that far back. See, like, I can't remember that far back, but so like, just whatever you recall.
Well, first of all, this prep's been a whole lot better. I kind of started it out on my own, but then I enlisted your help several weeks ago, and we came up with a plan and been sticking to it coming through. So it's a whole lot better than last prep, because the last prep I did on my own and it was rough, and I didn't come in very good at all, and I didn't place very well at all either. That was my pro debut for the OCB.
So what do you think has been like, what have you learned to do differently like this time than you did last time? What have you noticed that was different?
I think I ended up cutting really too hard at the end of that last prep, and it took a toll. I was eating through muscle tissue because I'm a natural competitor, so I lost a lot of muscle, and I don't know. I kind of winged it the whole time, and it didn't work out. And this time we had a plan. We've been doing it. You've been an amazing help. And
so what do you think? What do you think has changed the most about your physique since, like, or how have you been training different? Like, do you notice any differences in your training from this competition prep versus in 2018?
Oh yeah, I've been able to stay way more intense. I've really spent the last couple of years really working on, fundamentals in the gym. Really working on that mind muscle connection. Really trying to fire the muscles that I'm trying to work, not just going in and moving weight around. It's one thing to go in and move weight around with sloppy form, or just to move it, versus actually feeling what you want to be working. And I'm still, shoot, here we are with like 9 days out, and I'm still trying to learn, even more stuff. And so after this show, this next off season is going to be just really more of that, grinding in on it.
So would you say that, what would you tell, like, if somebody were new in the competitive world and, they wanted to know what would be like the main things that a new person needs to know? Like if they want to get into competing, like the top things that you think really make a difference?
Well, I guess for a new person that's never competed, I'd say first go watch a show. When we first started dating, I went to your show that down there in Greensboro, so that was a real big eye opener on how things worked, and it made me want to compete. You talk to competitors, and if they're honest with you, abysmal, still wanting to do it. The biggest piece of advice is, be consistent with it and really stick with it. You can't go in half-ass on a prep, no matter what level you're competing at. You won't turn out good. And then, it's all on top of that, everything you're doing in the gym, everything you're doing to get ready to start a prep, in the gym. You got to make sure that you're in a position where, are you even ready to cut down? If you're a natural competitor and you've only been, kind of sort of going to the gym for a little bit, you try and cut down, you're going to be pretty lean and probably not as big as you think you'll be. Not that means everything, but I think you definitely need to put that work in and really try and learn your body, I guess, a different way than just going in to the gym and throwing weights around like everybody else. Not everybody else, but most of the 5 o'clock crowd that's not into any kind of competitions, bodybuilding or powerlifting or strongman stuff.
And you're never going to be as big as you think you're going to be or as you want to be. It's like, I definitely learned that you can spend a whole lot of time trying to build, but if you're a natural, you've got like the time when you first start lifting and you can put on a whole lot of muscle then. But like if you've been lifting for years, then you're just doing like little bits of muscle at a time, like if you're lucky. And it takes a whole lot of factors, more than just being in the gym, right? To like build that muscle. A lot of people just look at it as going to the gym more. So like, what else do you think is like of key importance? Because especially because you're a type 1 diabetic, you've got a whole nother like obstacle to like deal with. And that makes such a big difference in you trying to build and cut for a competition. So like, what are all of the other things, or what would you say about that? What are the things that are most important? And it can even be related to that. But as far as you putting on muscle in this off season that you've had, what has been really key for you?
Well, shoot, that first year after my last show, it was a free for all. I got up to right shy of 250 pounds, that's the biggest, I've ever been. And it was quite fluffy.
But, and so like, what are you now?
I'm 188 pounds right now.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a huge difference between 250 and 188. when I started this prep, I was just shy of 240. I was somewhere in the 230 range. I don't remember exactly what it was, but shoot, what was the question though?
So you were talking about, I was asking, what are the key factors? And you were talking about how much weight you had put on in the off season. So maybe you were going somewhere with that.
The key factors of trying to put muscle on in the gym, I guess, is that what?
Well, the key factors of like, if you're trying to put muscle on, it's not just the gym work, right? So like, what are the other really big components that it takes to like build muscle? If somebody's trying to build, are they just supposed to go to the gym and lift all the time? What other things do they have to think about?
Well, all right. So, I mean, it's not just the going to the gym and the lifting. I mean, I'm going to say everything is a natural because I don't know about the other side, So, I mean, I push myself. You could tell anybody that I push myself so hard that, I'm damaged a lot. Have more rest. You tell me that all the time, and I never do it. But if you're trying to build muscle, you got to make sure you're getting rest between working the same muscle group again. Your food is the biggest. Other than going to the gym to put on muscle, you got to feed how you're putting it on. And I know everybody says that all the time with the macros. I just don't think a lot of people really, especially new people, they don't understand how the macros go. That's where I was going with I got awful fluffy because I didn't care. I didn't track anything. I had no clue what I was eating a day. You really need to have that dialed in. You need to have a good plan in place before you're ever going to see your potential coming out in the gym. And then
so
have
you
a good.
Still need to track, is what you're saying.
You need to track. You need to get some sort of a macro tracking app. I use MyFitnessPal. You use MyFitnessPal. That's a fantastic one. There's a couple others out there that I've heard of. I have no idea what they're called, but I know that there's more than one. If you don't want to use MyFitnessPal, but I mean, if you don't know what you're putting in your body every day for every meal, I mean, what are you eating then? What are your calories? And then you can really tailor what you're doing. You come up with a macros plan, and you can really. Are you gaining? Are you gaining too much? Are you not gaining at all? Are you losing? If you're pushing yourself in the gym and you're supposed to be gaining and you're losing, well, that you need to bump something up somewhere. That's important, and then you need a really good plan, especially if you're new to the gym, or if you're new to the kind of training. I mean, this isn't going to the gym to work out. It's not like that. People go to the gym and they work out, and they get a workout in after work, or they get a workout in before they go to work. Competitive athletes, whether they're bodybuilders or, power lifters, strongman, CrossFit, they're training, and that's completely different. And you need to have a plan in place to train. If you're new to this and you're going to start training for competition, you need to have a plan in place, because you'll just be all over the place. I think that would really help.
So let's say I'm not a competitor, but I just have a goal to like look a certain way. Like, does this stuff still matter?
I would say, yeah. I mean, not so much the training in the gym part, but you would definitely need a macros plan and some sort of a workout plan. How much cardio are you going to do to achieve this plan if you're trying to lose weight plus going to the gym? If you're training, not training, but whatever, you're going to the gym um, to work out. Are you trying to tone up, maybe add some muscle? You trying to lose some weight, both at the same time? You got to have a plan, and you have to have, again, back to the macros. That's like a fundamental. No matter where you're going with this, you know, having a plan for your macros and having a routine for the gym will make all the difference.
So what would you suggest? Like how should a person, if they do want to compete, if they're looking into competitions, how should a person research these? Like you said, go to a show, but like obviously I can Google it, right? But what do I want to look for? Like what matters in a competition? What's important for a person to be looking for if they're looking for a competition to do?
All right. Well, you froze for about half of that, so
You have frozen a couple of times as well, but I think I got the main points.
So I think what you asked was, how would somebody go about deciding on where would somebody start if they wanted to compete?
Yeah. So how does somebody research? What should they be looking for?
So are you a natural competitor or are you an enhanced competitor? Obviously, if you're an enhanced competitor, you won't be allowed to compete at natural shows. As a natural competitor, you can compete at untested shows where enhanced people are, but know going right into it that you're already at a disadvantage on that field.
I can attest.
Yeah, I've never competed, but I've seen you compete in NPC, and that's totally different. It's a totally different world. It's a totally different set of rules. Everything. I guess if somebody was going to start looking at that, once you answer that question, look at the offerings. If you're enhanced, the chances are you already know about competitions and stuff. There's probably not a lot of enhanced athletes out there that would be newbies coming into bodybuilding and not know about the NPC. But so I'm, again, most of the people I'm going to be referencing here probably going to be naturals, and leave it up to you. You can look up shows. You can look up YouTube videos. YouTube is fantastic for looking up videos. You can watch stuff on those. Look up shows. The OCB, which is the organization that I compete in, they have videos of shows on there. You can look up like on Instagram. There's social media, and look up all of the different organizations. You can see all the different shows. Most of the shows in the OCB, every single show has its own Instagram. They're all run by different promoters, and they all have their own Instagram pages. Lots of pictures, videos. You can go to whichever organization's website. You can read on there, learn. If you know people that compete, learn from them. I was lucky enough that you've been doing this for what, 19 years,
Even
20.
more.
Well, so, you know,
My first competition was in 2000.
I had a huge resource. I mean, and I've learned a ton, you know, from you and being around you as, you know, so I guess I've had an advantage, you know, but on top of that, you know, you were like the spark that started the fire, and, you know, and then you know, you still teach me stuff, but then I'm still learning stuff, you know, too, outside of things that you teach me. It's, you know, the more you can learn, the more prepared I think an individual.
You know, I'm all about learning. My life is all about learning. So, well, so anyway, so we don't want to like make it too long, but let's just like talk real quick before we go about how you're feeling at this moment at 9 days out. You know, give us a little sneak peek of what you got going on over there.
Yeah. I haven't even put the sneak peeks on the
you can give us a Flex Friday. It is Friday right now.
Oh, well, I mean,
you can so just, you know, give us a one, you know, Flex Friday. You froze.
You froze.
You froze too. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, tell us how you're feeling first. Do you feel like crap? Because
I'm tired.
Yes.
Naps have become a thing.
They're necessary at this point. I will agree with that. A couple of weeks out. I mean, I think even like 3 or 4 weeks out from my last competition, it was like I wasn't gonna make it through the day without a nap.
No, I mean, there's so much. I'm so tired so much. It's ridiculous. You get very tired, but you got to keep pushing. I feel good, even as flat as I am right now. I still think I when I look in a mirror or you know, or something, I feel I'm very confident. I'm not overconfident, but I'm confident. Which, and that's a big difference between now and the last show too. So I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm
How
ready
were you
to
feeling at the last show?
I was not confident.
Not confident?
No, I wasn't confident. And I wasn't confident. I was ill prepared. It was my pro debut, and I walked in there, and just being around the people that were prepared just knocked my confidence down even more. And it was, boy, that'll knock you right off your high horse.
Well, when I got my pro card with the ANBF, my pro debut was 2 weeks later. So I really didn't have any time to prepare for my pro debut. So it would, you know, I was about the same. And I thought when I was there, like, oh my Lord, I needed like more time to like get ready for this. Right. But I mean, I did fairly well considering I only had 2 weeks. But anyway, so, all right, Flex Friday for us. We got to end on like, you know, some kind of a something.
It's some kind of a something. Well, the lighting is horrendous. And I mean, what do you want me to do?
Just, you know, just do us a flex. Whatever
just give
kind you want. Yeah. So like, yeah. See, you gotta like.
Does that look all right?
Yeah, looks good. You gotta give the people a little sneak peek, right?
A little sneak peek. Yeah.
So any other tips that you would like to leave our viewers with, or any words of wisdom?
If you're new to this and you want to compete, you learn everything you can learn, go see a show. I mean, especially if you live in a city or a town, and there's, you know, chances are that there's one close by of some organization, you know, within a couple hours drive. Go see one. And if you decide to do it, you get a coach. You need a coach. I mean, you're a coach and even you use a coach when you're prepping, you know, I mean, you just have to have that. You're never going to push yourself through the.
Well, I've done it with and without coaches, but it takes a lot of, especially if you're like, I've done it. I'm in year 21, technically. So it's not that I have done 21 years of competing, but I have competed enough times that I know what to do at this point, and I kind of know my body really well. Plus I'm a coach, but it really helps so much to have somebody else guiding you and giving you just like a second set of eyes, because you will second guess yourself all the time. And it, like, even for me, if I didn't use a coach again, I would use the resource of having other coaches, you know, that I have become friends with, give me feedback. You know, because like you will second guess yourself and think you're not where you need to be. And it helps to have somebody else saying, yeah, you're good, you know, or whatever needs to happen. So if you haven't done it before, you just need it that much more because of that, because you will not have any idea. Like, I can't remember, like the first time I competed, maybe not the first time, but maybe the second time, I remember I was at the Greenbrier and I was like doing all of my own stuff. And like, I don't even know where I came up with all this stuff that I was doing. And it was like, I really could have used somebody saying, I don't know. Like, I think I was just eating, like, there wasn't, I didn't do macros then. I tracked everything, but I didn't like have a goal for all of the macros. It was more just about like, I ate these foods at these times, and it was like, it got really old really fast. So I would highly recommend macros if you can, because at least it gives you the option of having some variety. And you still want healthy foods, but I just like it so much better than like a meal plan, wouldn't you think?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I get what I get per day, you know, but I can make up my own, you know, I've got it, you know, divided out throughout the day. Like, I think where certain things need to be. And it's a whole lot better than, I think, being given a meal plan. But hey, maybe somebody that's new to this, maybe they need a meal plan, you know, I mean,
well, sometimes it works better for people. It really does. Like, even sometimes people that want to lose weight, they just are not confident enough in macro tracking to like hit what they need to hit. So sometimes I think it is better if somebody tells you this is what you need to eat, right? But again, I think having that guidance to let you make changes over time, you know, a lot of times people get so tired of something, whether it be training or the food or whatever, that they just quit simply because they can't stand doing the same thing anymore, you know, and you've got to like see progress, you know, in whatever it may be. So you disappeared.
I know. I said low battery.
So anyway, okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. And so thank you for being here, and we will talk to you again after your show. So everybody, wish Luke the best of luck, and we will talk to you soon.
Uh-huh.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye.